I'm Quincy Bernal, and I have our opening words for today by Shel Silverstein and adapted by our RE director, Amy Brock. If we were a rock and roll band, we'd travel all over the land. We'd play and we'd sing and wear spangly things if we were a rock and roll band. And if we were a rock and roll band and we were up there on the stand, people would hear us, and they'd love us and cheer us. Hooray for that rock and roll band. If we were a rock and roll band, then we'd have millions of fans. We'd giggle and laugh and sign autographs if we were a rock and roll band. But we aren't a rock and roll band. We're the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Central Oregon, with people of all ages, playing and learning and dreaming together. Oh, isn't it grand? Even if we aren't a rock and roll band.
Would you please rise and body your spirit and join me in singing the opening song, The Garden. Here we go. Inch by inch, row by row, gonna make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. Inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warm them from below till the rain comes tumbling down. Pulling weeds, picking stones, we are great of dreams and homes. Feel the need to grow my own, 'cause the time is close at hand. Rainful rain, sun and rain, find my way in nature's chain. To my body and my brain, to the music of the land. Plant your rows straight and long, temper them with prayer and song. Mother Earth will make you strong if you give her love and care. Old crow watching hungrily from his perch in yonder tree. In my garden I'm as free as that feathered thief up there. Imagine your rows straight and long, temper them with prayer and song. Mother Earth will make you strong if you give her love and care. Old crow watching hungrily from his perch in yonder tree. In my garden I'm as free as that feathered thief up there. Inch by inch, row by row, gotta make this garden grow. All it takes is a rake and a hoe and a piece of fertile ground. And inch by inch, row by row, someone bless these seeds I sow. Someone warn them from below till the rain comes tumbling down.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Central Oregon. I'm Amy Brock, and I'm the Director of Religious Exploration for Children and Youth. And today is a very special day. It is one of our all-ages services that we do a few times throughout the year, so that means that people of all ages are with us here today. And I want to let you know that if you have really little ones and they need some space to run around, our nursery is open if you need to use that during the service today. I want us to take a breath together. Take a big inhale and an exhale. And inviting our whole selves into this space, I want to ask that our adults take a moment to set aside any expectations that you may have brought with you today. When we have our all ages services, things move around. Things are in different places than we might expect them to be, and might be introduced in a different way than we're typically used to. So open yourself to the possibility of what that might be like. And I also want to invite our young people to remember our agreements that we make together when we're in our RE space. Keeping our friends safe, keeping our hands to ourselves, listening when other people are talking, and knowing that when it's our turn to talk, that we can choose to speak or choose to pass. So with that, I will pass it to Noreen, who is going to introduce our special musicians today.
Good morning, my name is Noreen Halberstadt. My pronouns are she, her. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the Bells of Praise, Handbell Choir, and Shelley Giaier, who is their director. They are housed at the Bend Church United Methodist. Shelley has been conducting there since 2015, and the bells may go back to as late as the 1960s. So welcome, welcome.
Good morning. I'm Chayla Sloper, the Congregational Life Facilitator, and I have today's announcements. Firstly, special welcome to those who are visiting here today for the first time, whether you're on Zoom or here with us in person. We're really excited to have the Bell Choir, and folks may have come for that, or just because of the charm of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Central Oregon. But all the same, welcome. I do want to report that we had a great presence at Bend Pride yesterday. Big thanks, I know. Big thanks to all the volunteers who were there early in the morning to set up, and those of us who were there late to take down the booth, and just the good spirit, all the color, and glitter and bubbles. It was really just a lovely celebration, and we look forward to more years of participating in Bend Pride. And from my congregational life facilitator perspective, I'm delighted that Kelly Pence has decided to take the leadership for organizing next year's Pride. So we do, I know, this is how we get organization and keep all the gears moving. So I just want to make a quick announcement about something next week, and that is with regard to our art resources team new exhibit and the reception that they have for the artist, singular. That would happen to be our own member, Christina Ziegler, who is an avid photographer. And remember when we all got really excited about the Aurora Borealis? Her show, I mean, she's hardcore, and she goes up to where it's like way below freezing. So we're going to have a really lovely show, and the reception will be on Thursday, June 13th. So this week, we've got a lot going on. Tuesday night is the last session of our very enlivening series called We're All Going to Die. And the title for this Tuesday's discussion, and that's 7 p.m., is called About Being Mortal, and that's all of us. Whether you've participated in the series up until this point, or if this catches your attention, you're welcome to come. However, Tuesday night and also Tuesday day are going to be discussions in preparation for Friday night's Rooted discussion and author welcome. So our adult spiritual development team has arranged to have the author of Rooted where spirit, nature, and science meet. And so that's going to be Friday, yes. We've been reading this as a congregation. There will be a discussion Tuesday morning at 10 and also Tuesday night at 6:30. And Susan Kinney has even more excitement to share about this. Susan.
Thank you, Jayla. Rooted. If you haven't read it, it's a great read. I highly recommend it. New York Times best-selling author Lyanda Haupt will be here Friday, 7 in our very own sanctuary. You can get the book still up at Roundabout Books. It's really only one roundabout away. And they're open after church. But you don't have to read it to come on Friday. I listened to a TED Talk that she did a number of years ago about another book that she published, and she's a very engaging and inspiring speaker. And to make it even better, our very own Reverend Scott will be in conversation with her live as part of the event, and I don't have to tell you how great that's going to be. And after the event, she'll be in the gathering hall signing books and answering questions. I'll be available during coffee hour if you know you're coming and you want to sign up. But you can also sign up on our website, or if that's just too much for you, just show up on Friday. It's fine. It's free for members. Bring a friend. Tell your book club about it. It's only $10 for non-members, and that helps to just defray the cost of bringing the author here. Tickets are on sale on our website, and we will also be selling tickets at the door on Friday. So we look forward to seeing all of you on Friday. We're hoping for a full house. It's going to be really exciting. Doors open at 6:30, and it'll be 7. I look forward to seeing you here. Thanks.
So yes, that's a really wonderful opportunity. Here's another opportunity for today. If you are a newcomer and you have questions about this congregation or just want to learn more, we'll have a newcomer welcome in the library. It's also the fireside room. Our members of our connections team will be there, but also Reverend Scott will be there today. So if you would like to meet the minister and bring your questions to him and just find out a little bit more about our congregation and Unitarian Universalism, please do consider yourself welcomed. So coming down to the finish line here, Saturday morning is really exciting. Laura Pitney is going to be facilitating a discussion for the women and women's connections. What would you like to see happening in the congregation? So that'll be Saturday morning at 9:30. Childcare is available, and it would be helpful if you respond to either Lori or to me and let us know that you would also like to take care of or have your young ones cared for during that time, 9:30 to 11. And next Sunday, okay, it will be flower celebration. So this is one of the really beautiful rituals of our congregation and throughout Unitarian Universalism. So everybody is invited to bring a flower, and that represents your uniqueness, and you'll leave with a different flower, and we will be providing additional flowers as well. So if flowers aren't in your immediate environment, no worries, we'll cover that for you. And then following that, we have our What a Year potluck and celebration. So by now, we have a good showing for the meal, but we could use more signups. So there's a sign up at the kiosk, and you can still sign up to bring something for the potluck or help with setup and cleanup. And our Leadership Development Committee will be leading our celebration of how our love has impacted lives this last year. So a lot going on per normal, and there's even something to learn about our endowment committee. So I'm going to pass the mic to Don Hartsaw and give you blessings for your day.
So very many things going on in this busy fellowship, and I'm going to be speaking about something that you may have heard about or you may have never heard about, and that's the Endowment Committee and the Endowment Fund. The members of the committee are Joan Landsberg, Jazz Halberstadt, Duke Chasney, Rob Kinney, and the new members, Peter Jesse and Chris Patrick, who were just elected during this last annual meeting. Now, UUFCO as a religious organization has been around for decades. It has a long history going back way before we moved into this building. But the endowment committee, the endowment fund, is relatively new. I think probably within the last 10 years, sometimes after we moved in here. And for that reason, the amount that we have is not as much as we would really like to have for the future in order to be able to keep the fellowship going after many of us have passed away. The purpose of the endowment committee is ensure the values of UUFCO endure. That is, the values keep moving after many of us are gone. The money that we have is invested into Charles Schwab, which is a socially approved, which contains socially approved funds for us to invest in, and those they have reasonable returns. We don't speculate. We just do something that gives us something that's regular and we can count on. The question I want to raise to you this morning has to do with the concept of importance. As we all know, importance is very much with us for all the rest of our lives. When we're very, very young, we are important people, are our parents and our caregivers. As we get older, we take more friends, we may go to school, establish relationships with teachers. As we get older, we meet people we want to live with, we have a job, and so on and so on. You get the idea. So the idea of its importance. And my question for you is, how important is the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship in your life, though especially those of you who have been coming to this for quite a while? Because that's an important question for the future of this religious organization. Will the UUFCO endure in the future? And I have an invitation for you this morning. The invitation is, as you are caring for your future, and you're checking with your will and in the inheritances that you make, I would suggest to you and invite you to include in those inheritances some amount for Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. Now, I know I've made mine, many of you have made yours. The major amount of that, of course, is going to family, either immediate family or other organizations. But I would invite you to just include in that something about the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, because that is important to you. And it is important to specify this, especially now. Make that donation to the endowment fund of the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Central Oregon. That's the endowment fund of UUFCO. I have done that. It has given me a great deal of pleasure to do that, and I'm very proud that I've done it, and I hope you will feel the same way as you go forward. Thank you for listening to what I have to say this morning. Take care.
I'm Shelley Giaier, and I have the privilege of directing this group of people. And I have to say, I have never had my words signed before. I feel so honored. Thank you. Yeah, I better be careful what I say. I wanted to introduce the piece that we're going to play for you. It's called Prayer for the Innocents, and it has a subtitle called A Prayer of Hope and Love. It was written in 2016 by Michael Hellman, who had experienced a tragedy in his life. And this music is a reflection of the emotions that he experienced after that tragedy. You're going to hear a sadness, a shock, a breathlessness in the beginning. You're going to hear anger, And then it's going to evolve into hope and finally love. At the end of this piece, I'm going to ask you not to applaud. I'd love to have you, in your mind, go to a meditative place and wherever your brain takes you, but just have a quiet moment of solitude at the end of this piece.
At this time, I'd like to invite our young people to come to the rug and say our chalice lighting with me. We are going to share the chalice lighting that we do together in our RE classes every week. When we gather to say our chalice lighting in RE, we always say that if you know the words, you can say them along with me. We're going to do some hand motions too, so you're also invited to do those along with me. And you're also invited to just listen, whichever one of those fits with your heart today. All right, we light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the loving heart. This is the church of helping hands. Together we care for ourselves and everyone on earth.
Please rise in spirit or body and join me in singing Spirit of Life. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice, roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
All right, it is time for our time for all ages, but everything is kind of like the time for all ages today. We are glad to have all of you with us. All right, this month we have been, we're going to start exploring renewal in some spaces, and I wonder if anybody here on the rug with me knows what renewal means. It's a big word. It has the word new in it. Yeah, like it has the word new in it, like returning to get something else, or maybe making something fresh, like if you painted something a new color, or maybe you used yesterday's ingredients to make something new for dinner. It's kind of what renewal means. And we have a story to help us explore that today. When I was trying to think about a story to talk about renewal, I was like, what could I pick? And then the word tacos came to mind. Maybe because I was hungry, maybe because this is a good story. I don't know. We're about to find out. But our story today is called Taco Falls Apart. Meet Taco. Everyone expects so much from him. He must stand tall, he must be open, and he must be strong. But one day, Taco reaches his breaking point. The world wants too much of me, he cries. And Taco cracks and tips over and falls apart. Oh no, what's happening? What's wrong, say his friends. I think I'm terrible at being a taco, he says. I feel terrible, and everything I do is terrible. I can't even stand up and keep it together, and I'm done. The beans gasp, that is awful. The avocados say, that is also so awful. And the onions form a ring, and they start crying. That's enough, says Nacho. You can change all of this once you know about think, feel, and do. You said it yourself, said Nacho. You think you are terrible, so you feel terrible, and now you won't do anything, and that's terrible. That's loopy, says Lettuce. I feel dizzy, says Taco. You should shake things up, said Salt. Sometimes if you change what you think, then what you feel can change too. Yippee! Salt was very excited about that. But how, asks Taco. Just think about what makes you terrific, says Nacho, and you'll feel better. We think about being crisp instead of wilty, say the lettuce. I'm sour, says the sour cream, but I add terrific flavor. We make farts, say the beans, but we are good for your heart. Your turn, Taco, says the cheese. Turn your terrible into terrific. I'll never figure out this thinking stuff, says Taco. Never, huh, says Nacho. Never is a really big word and is probably not very helpful for any kind of thinking. And it's not even true. You've figured out hard stuff before. Try to think about what you can do instead of what you can't do. Taco sighs. Why bother? I'm just going to fall apart again tomorrow. What? Say his friends. Do you really know what's going to happen tomorrow? Do you have a crystal ball? Are you a fortune teller or a taco? Can you see our future? Taco thought for a long time. Well, I do think there are days when I stand tall and hold us together. And thinking about what I can do does make me feel kind of terrific. Taco stands up. Hooray, his friends say. Come on, everybody, let's pull it together. Group hug. Now, Taco thinks lots about his thoughts. Some days he falls apart. Some days his shell cracks. But when Taco thinks about what he can do, he feels so strong and he stands so tall and life around him seems super terrific. These are all of Taco's friends. When I was looking at this picture, it reminded me of how different things can be. And I wonder, if you were going to be one of Taco's friends, which one of those ingredients would you be? Would you be the lettuce? You'd be the jalapenos? What would you be? You'd be the beans? You'd be the cheese? What would you be? You'd be the pretzels? Mm-hmm. What would you be? Be the tomatoes? Oh, I love that. I love that we all pick different things, too. And one of the things that I love about Unitarian Universalism is that we all get to be different when we come here together. That's one of the things that makes us special. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that makes us different here is in our thoughts about God. So I have another question for you. What do you think, or who do you think God is? God is a spirit of love and help. And happiness. Yeah, God is a helper. Some people think that God is a being with pronouns like he, she, or they. Some people think that God is more of a feeling, like what we might experience when we're in the forest or by the ocean or when we listen to beautiful music like we hear today. Some people might say that we are God and God is us, and other people might say that God is in us. Some people might say that God is the sun and the moon and the stars. Some people don't think God is a thing, and some people think that God might be a thing, and some people are certain that God is a thing. So we are going to share a song together. It's a song that some of you might know very well, and some of you might be hearing it for the first time. And one of those words in our song is the word God. So when you hear that, when we sing it with Shelley and our choir today, know that you can choose whatever you see God as being for you.
Well, we are going to sing this song, but I'm going to need some ringers to help me. I thought this looked like a bunch that would be willing to ring. Now, you probably watched when we were playing and you saw lots of bells. Wait, hang on a minute. I know this is exciting. And you also heard these. These are called hand chimes. And I'm going to show you how you don't need all the music and all the instruments to make beautiful sounds. And so Janine, my friend Janine, is going to give you each a hand chime. And, well, went right in his hand and he made a sound. Jackson, yeah. Is this all you do? Okay, pretty easy, right? So what we're going to do, yep, there are letters on each one that tell the musical notes. Now, can you make your chime quiet? Can you just hold it quietly for just a second? Okay, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be playing these while everybody sings a song called Amazing Grace. But there's only 5 of us, so I was thinking that maybe we need to enlist the help of some adults. What do you think? Absolutely. Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I think they're ready to go it alone. But, so I need my chime choir right here to stand up and make some space because I've got some ringers who are going to come down and they're going to hand some folks a hand chime. You may not hand it back. Okay? We've got Jackson here. 1 second, it was in his hand and he's off and running. So, okay, so if you can keep them really quiet for just a minute, I'm gonna give everybody some instruction, and you're gonna see how we can sing and ring and make music with hand chimes in a very easy way. So if someone is approaching you, don't put your head down. Don't put your head down. Don't turn away, because you know you want to do this. They're going to find a likely candidate. All right. So let me tell you how this is going to go. Yeah, everybody who has one now, give it a ring so you know. And if you've got a big one, you need to stand up, go. Okay? All right. Okay, now can we keep them quiet for just a minute? We're going to do something during this piece called random ringing. And it's just that. You just ring that chime whenever you feel like it. And it will be pretty, I guarantee you, okay? So what we need is we need a starting note. There it is. Okay, here we go. Amen. Oh, I'm so sorry. I gave you false information. Come on back.
All right, we are going to stay right here. We are going to do a different kind of meditation together. I don't know if we've ever done this kind of meditation together, but we're about to explore it. So you can choose to stay seated, or you can choose to sit on the rug for a meditation together. And if you're waiting to come into this space, you can, okay. Do we have another song next? I don't want people like standing for a long time. I just don't want you to be uncomfortable. I care a lot. Okay, we are going to sit down or stand up, and we are going to do a moving meditation together. So your moving could be your whole body if you're maybe standing in this space with me, or your moving might be your fingers or your toes in your seat, all right? So take a moment, and let's see how still we can get our bodies, whether you're standing or you're sitting. How still can you be? And then I want you to just think about one finger. It doesn't matter which finger. And see if you can move just that one finger. Now see if you can move a finger on the other hand. Could be the same one. Could be a different one. Now see if you can move all of your fingers on one hand. And see if you can move all of your fingers on the other hand. And then if you want and you have space, you could see what happens if you start to move from your fingers all the way to your shoulders. So your fingers move, your arm moves, then your shoulder moves, and then maybe it comes back down. And then we can do the other side. Your fingers move, your arms move, your shoulders move, and then they come back down. And then our arms are still. And now we're going to find our toes. See if you can lift one toe. Doesn't matter which one. Now see if you can lift a toe on the other foot. Doesn't matter which one. Let's see if you can wiggle your toes on one foot, all of them. See if you can wiggle your toes on the other foot, all of them. And then very carefully, so that we don't bump into any friends, see what happens if you start to pick your foot up and wiggle your whole foot, and then you can start to wiggle your ankle and your knee and your whole leg. Get all the wiggles out of it. And then we'll do the other one. Let that leg be still, because if you're standing like me, you can't do both legs at the same time. So then you'll move your other toes and your other ankle and your knee and your whole leg, and make it all wiggly. And then both of those legs are still. Nice job. All right, take a big breath. Reach your arms all the way up to the sky. And then exhale and bring them all the way down. Let's do that one more time. Reach your arms all the way up to the sky. And then exhale and bring them all the way back down. Nice. And then my friends here, we're going to put them in our lap. And we are going to say the Children's Covenant together. And then we're going to do something that the grown-ups do in this space each week, but we don't always do together in RE. And I'm going to tell you about it. So let's say our Children's Covenant. In this place, I am kind. In this place, I am loving. In this place, I am a friend to the earth and all animals and people. In this place, I am loved. All right, so it is time for our joys and sorrows. Who can tell me what a joy is? What do you, if you had to guess, what would you say a joy is? A moment of happiness. I love that. You had another idea? A feeling of love. You had one more? Something that makes you happy. Oh, I wonder, did anybody have a joy this week? Did something happen that made you feel really happy? If you want to share it with a friend, you can share it with a friend. If you want to share it with me, I'll share it with everybody out here. You got rats. We got rats at our house. What are their names? What? They might be named Minty or Spice. That's so exciting. I love mice. What about you? We had a great day every day last week. That's amazing. That's so cool. We have a friend who's having a birthday party today, but it's also kind of a going away party because they're going to be gone for 2 years and then they'll come back. That's exciting that you get to say goodbye to your friend. Yeah. Oh, they might stay there forever if they like it. So it sounds like a really big party. I hope you have so much fun. Oh, note about the rats. They're not wild. They're domesticated. They're pets. We like rats. I like rats. All right. So we have joys, and those are great. And sometimes we have sorrows, and sorrows are okay too. They're a part of life. They're things that happen. And in this space, we can come and we can share our happy things, and we can share our sad things together. And when we share sad things, it kind of makes it feel a little bit better because people get to hold those with us. So if you had something sad happen this week, you can share it with a friend, or you can share it with me, and I will share it with our friends here. Maybe we didn't have anything sad happen this week. It sounds like we had pretty good weeks. You have something?
Being outside in the sun.
Oh, we had another joy that we remembered. We enjoyed playing outside in the sun. That's great. We are also going to explore gratitude right here really quick. And gratitude is just something that we are thankful for. So does anybody have anything that they are thankful for today? We're thankful for our life and for this Unitarian Universalist community here. Anybody else? I'm thankful for all of you. It makes my heart so happy that I get to spend space with you today. Well, I think that is our joys and sorrows and gratitudes for our friend here. And I think Ben has some joys and sorrows to share that people might have written down and left for him.
A few. My name is Ben Morgan, and I'm a member of the pastoral care team. And I'm going to share some joys and sorrows that were given to me. For those of you that have your own joys, sorrows, and gratitudes, we have candles on either side of the hall that you can light, and you can hold those in your heart. I'd also like to thank the kids for coming up. What a good job. Just amazing. Our first joy is from Charles Campbell. Wilma's 90th birthday was on Thursday, May 30th. Well, happy birthday, Wilma. Another joy from Flora Patrick. So grateful for all the volunteers at Bend Pride on Saturday. It was an awesome time. This is from Vicki and Ken Rodman. This is both a joy at the same time a sorrow for the passing of Jerry Colonna. More important, an expression of gratitude for Jerry, former superintendent of Redmond School District, as well as many others. We had the pleasure of working with Jerry. His leadership style was gracious, caring, and abundantly kind. He was such a gentle and effective way of leading the school district, and his leadership style filtered down through the ranks, so to speak. This resulted in a school district that thrived, that empowered teachers in such positive ways, and that directly touched our very important student lives, as well as the entire community. Thanks, Jerry. We so appreciated you. Noreen Halberstadt. This is such a joy for me to have the Bells of Praise here today as our guest musicians. Bells holds a special place in my heart. I am full up with joy. And this is from Greg Burns. My son is here for a nice long visit and some fun in the wood shop. Thank you, and I wish all of you a very good day.
We're going to honor all of these joys and sorrows and gratitudes with one ringing of the bell.
It's the custom of our congregation to devote one offering per month to one of the nonprofits in our community whose values and mission aligns with ours. One of the 7 principles of Unitarian Universalism is the dignity and worth of every human being. And Family Kitchen is one of the organizations in our community that lives this out in a real practical way. So today I have the pleasure of introducing Rob Knoth, who is the president of the board of Family Kitchen. Rob and his family have been involved with Family Kitchen since 2016. They are active members of the Bend community, and when not volunteering at Family Kitchen, you can find them bike packing and enjoying Oregon's beauty and nature. I also just want to say, express our gratitude that Family Kitchen is one of the places where volunteers from our congregation also express our love for all people. So, Rob.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here, and deeply appreciative of the generosity of the whole congregation and the whole community. Family Kitchen is a charity that's very special. It's a force in this community that really is bigger than just, one meal that's served. It's bigger than just, the physical location we are. If you really think about, when you gather around your table, and whether it's just to have a snack in the middle of the day or to have a family dinner or friends over, there's really this sense of community, this sense of gathering, this sense of sharing. Good conversations, like the joys and sorrows and gratitude section. I think back to a lot of conversations I had growing up, some that were very hard around a family table, and some that, were really happy. And I see that every day at Family Kitchen. Our diners gathering, and laughing, crying, and, sometimes helping each other out. And it's, I feel deeply appreciative to have a role there. For those who, maybe don't know Family Kitchen, Family Kitchen got started in 1986. Bend looked very different than it does today in 1986. Family Kitchen was started by a few of the church members of Trinity because the local mill was shutting down, and a lot of people were starting to go hungry and needed help. It was and continues to be to this day a very grassroots organization, very simple, very straightforward, and very focused on getting meals out there. The mission of Family Kitchen is to serve nutritious meals to anyone in need in a safe and caring environment. No questions asked, no paperwork that needs to get filled out. Come through the door, get meals to go, and that plural of meals is important. I have diners that show up and they just need a little something for themselves. I have some diners that come in, and especially as the community of our diners have scattered and spread, they'll get many meals to go to take back to a camp, to take to their family, to take to their friends who can't be there. And it's wonderful to see our volunteers, our staff, no questions asked. We put it together, we make it happen. It's about respect and care and dignity. If you think about what is important for all of us have different needs, all of us have different goals and situations and challenges that we're facing, but the common thread that runs through all that is food. It's impossible to think about mounting any challenges in life, any of the things you're trying to deal with, if you're hungry. And I feel very fortunate that, we are there to address that one core basic need. And everything else springs from that. If you can feed someone, they can think about looking for a place to sleep. They can think about, helping others around them. They can think about getting a job. But if you're hungry, none of that happens. And everything is just infinitely harder. Now, Family Kitchen started very small with just a few meals going out of, the basement of Trinity in 1986 for, the meals. Today, it's 20,000 meals a month. We have operations in 3 communities, Bend, Sisters, and Redmond. And all of that needs help. Those meals aren't free. We have managed to keep our cost of meals very low, but that still requires a large amount of money from the community to fund. And so I am deeply honored and appreciative of this opportunity and the giving of the congregation here, and really thank you. And I'll be outside at the table if you have any questions about Family Kitchen. And thanks to all of you. There's over 70 of the people in the congregation who are volunteering there in many different capacities. That's a tremendous show of support. And so thank you all very much.
Thank you. The offering will now be gratefully received.
Please sing along with Mr. Sun, if you know the song.
Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, hiding behind the trees. These little children are asking you to please come out so we can play with you. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, hiding behind the trees. These little children are asking you to please come out so we can play with you. Oh, Mr. Sun, Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on, please shine down on, please shine down on me.
Am I on? Yeah. I love music. I feel all my feels when I listen to music. I don't know about you, but when I need to change my mood or put some pep in my step, that's what I do. I find the right song, and everything can change. There are songs that artists have changed my life with. The timeline of my life is marked by music. A song can instantly bring me back in time. Maybe it's time traveling, I don't know. And I surely dance like no one is watching. My dogs don't seem to mind at all. I was 3 when I started collecting 45s, and for the kids, those are tiny records. And they were the Beatles records. And then when I was in high school, my marching band had auditions, and I didn't play an instrument, so I showed up with my kazoo, and I was part of the band. So we belong to a Unitarian Universalist church in Elgin, Illinois, and when my 2 daughters were about 8 and 5, they joined the Handbell choir. And because I had to drive them, well, I was told I had to be in the choir as well. So we were in the choir for about 10 years, and somewhere in that time, they got good enough that they had to go to the adult choir. And I certainly wasn't good enough to do that with them, but that's what I had to do. So watching them play, there are stresses that come up in me with mixed joy, and that's what I feel. So being part of a choir, as you know, if you're in the singing choir, there's something special about it. The people become very close to you and like your family. It fills my spirit and my soul, and I have a question for you. Have you felt moved today by the music? Yes? You might feel renewed and refreshed after hearing music you normally don't hear. So I would like a raise of hands. I'm curious. If we happen to have bells at this church, would you be interested in being part of a handbell choir? Give me a raise of hands. And yeah, there's quite a few of us. Curious minds want to know. I'm just going to end with 2 quotes about music. Maybe you can relate in some way. Leonard Bernstein said, "Music can name the unnamed and communicate the unknowable." And then Peter Gabriel said, "Music is a spiritual doorway. Its power comes from the fact that it plays directly into the soul." Thank you. We're going to do our covenant now. Love is the spirit of this fellowship, and service is its law. This is our covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Like the bells that play different songs to make one sound together, we live our days, whatever they may be, in harmony together. Some days may feel quite terrible, and some days are better, and some days are best, as the low notes and high notes of our collective song shift and change together. Let us close in song today as we sing This Little Light of Mine.
Would you please rise in body or spirit to join us in the singing of This Little Light of Mine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, baby. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine. Building up a world, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Thank you.